want to talk to you about today is going to be the a part of the sales process that a lot of people tend to not be very comfortable with. I think there's a few crucial points in the sales process, and that's both online and and offline as well. Like I said, I've been in sales for a very long time. Did outside sales. I've been on commission only jobs, all that good jazz. And there are several points in the sales process where a lot of people kind of drop the ball. All right. So one of the questions that I asked you guys today was about your questioning, like your questionnaires. What does it look like when somebody goes to book an appointment with you? That's something that's very important. Number one, of course, you want that process to be automated. I mean, a lot of you guys in this group, you're no stranger to the coaching process, stranger to business. And a few of you guys have not set this up yet, but for the most part, a lot of you guys have that automated process set up, at least initially, where somebody can click a link and then they can book you, and then you'll have your call or, your sessions or whatnot. So that's not the problem with most of you guys. I just want you guys to kind of recognize where you are in the sales process so that you can begin to approve upon that process. Okay. So a lot of times what happens is we don't critique ourselves enough when it comes to the sales process. One of the things you have to get real used to when it comes to being in sales, and that's what you guys are in, you're selling your products, you're selling yourselves, you're selling your digital courses and your content and stuff like that. With sales, one of the things you have to get really comfortable with, not only just being told no, but also being able to have thick skin and being able to critique yourself along the way. In the sales field or in my business, I realized that if I'm not getting to the result that I want to get to, or if I'm not making the amount of sales that I want to make, then that means something on my end has to change. Either I'm saying the wrong things, I'm putting the wrong messages out there, so the wrong people are showing up. I'm not taking my time and qualifying the clients. My processes are not clear. I'm not putting myself in the right places to get in front of more qualified people. Like, all of those are things that you can make changes with. Okay. So what I want to show you or talk about is the questioning process, because that helps better qualified people show up to the appointment. And then when they show up to the appointment, you're not doing the same things over and over and over again. Okay. So what happens is that you'll book an appointment, and then you spend the entire time finding out information about the client when the client could have just provided that information to you when they showed up on the call. All right. So let me share my screen, and then I'll go through a couple of the questionnaires. I'll go through my own so you can take a look at it as well. I know my page is very busy, so disregard that. But I'll show you this before we get to some of those questionnaires as well. These are the 7 stages of the sales cycle, okay? And all of these different stages is something that you need to make yourself an expert with. Now, you can do this by hand, and honestly, I have been doing this pretty much by hand for my coaching business for the last couple of years. I'm just now getting to the place where I can automate it. And what people don't realize is through automation, there also is a period of time where you're going to have to research. You can't just automate things if you don't know exactly how that process to run. So that's another reason why I want to show you guys this sales process as well. Let me just check. Okay, I don't see anybody coming live right now. So that's another reason why I want to get you guys familiar with this process, because you cannot really understand what you're going to have to automate unless you understand where you are in the process and what type of clients are coming to you, what they need, what their objections will be, all that good stuff. So it's really hard to automate those things if you don't understand where you are. So we're going to start with qualifying your prospect. Okay. So we've done a few things in the group. There's videos on prospecting. What that is just building your audience, making content. That's putting content in front of your clients. So whether that's email, text messages, YouTube videos, Clubhouse, what have you, that's where you make that content, qualifying your prospect. Qualifying your prospect is that point in time where somebody says, hey, I'm interested in working with you. Now, if somebody jumps in your inbox and they say, hey, I'm interested in working with you, what can I do? There's one or two ways you can either go about that. Number one, you can sit there and you can ask them these questions manually. Hey, you know, what type of business do you have? And, you know, what type of revenue are you doing? And all these different things to qualify them on the spot. You can send them to an automated system, which is your Acuity link, which is connected to some type of questionnaire form. Or you can send them to, you know, a phone call or some type of meeting. Hey, let's just set up a meeting. And then you can do those fact-finding questionnaire in person. Okay. That's honestly what I was doing when I first started out in coaching. I was doing that in person. And I felt like I needed to do that again because I needed to know where my lane was, what I wanted to teach, who I wanted to work with, what problems did I want to solve? Because there's a lot of problems that you'll probably be able to solve, but do you want to be the expert in that is going to be the question. Okay. So those are all things that you have to think about. So